How are you setting your personal minimums? In this video, I'll share with you exactly how I do mine. Hey there, M0A Online Ground School. Jason Schappert here. So thankful to just be sharing more in this. Really, it's kind of evolved into a decision-making series, hasn't it? As I shared maybe 2 weeks ago now, we can get you to pass your written test. We can get you to pass your check ride. We can work towards Jaeger, Rickenbacker, Earhart status, right? We can work towards all that. But wouldn't that all be in vain if you can't make smart go and no-go decisions? And a big tool I use to help make those smart go and no-go decisions are what I call my hard set. I'll explain why they're hard set personal minimums. My hard set personal minimum numbers. What I do is I allow the METAR or the TAF to be an early indicator and to help make that decision for me. What do I mean? I really ask is three, sometimes we'll call it 3.5 simple questions. The first is this: I will not go flying if the wind is greater than blank. You fill in the blank. The half a question might be, I will not go flying if the crosswind component is greater than blank. And I believe early on you should add something like that in there. I will not go flying if the wind is greater than blank. Because you know how wind works. Very rarely does it seem to die down when we want it to. Next, and this is a big one, especially if you listened to last week's video. If not, please go watch it. I will not go flying if the clouds are lower than, you fill in that blank. Notice the verbiage there. Clouds. I didn't say broken layer. I didn't say overcast layer. I said clouds. Because if you listen to last week's story about the mistake where I got stuck on top of the clouds on a solo cross country as like a 35-hour private pilot, you would know that a few layer becomes a scattered layer, becomes a broken layer, becomes an overcast layer like that sometimes. That's how Mother Nature works. I will not go flying if the clouds are lower than blank or less than blank. Then lastly, I will not go flying if the visibility is less than blank. And you fill in that blank. Now, I want to point something out. Visibility is one area that people get a little too audacious with. Might be, I don't know if that's the right word to use or not. Let me explain. You read a METAR, and it says at the Ocala Airport, it's 10 statute miles visibility. But sometimes at the Ocala Airport, we can take off, get to 5,000 feet. I can see the Atlantic Ocean. I can see the Gulf of Mexico. Let me tell you, that's a lot more than 10 statute miles of visibility. But because of the limitations of our METAR, it just says 10. So oftentimes we fly, we read the METAR says 10, we go fly, it looks beautiful, we assume 10 must be awesome. But have you ever flown in legit 9 statute miles visibility? Even worse, 8? I would argue that even a private pilot, that is very VFR, by the way. That's well above even marginal VFR, right? 8 statute miles visibility. Give me a 60-hour private pilot, maybe working on their instrument even a little bit, and let me put you in 23 Mike Zulu in 8 statute miles visibility. You'd be sweating it. And do you know what I'm talking? Has anybody ever been there before? That's the problem with our METAR system. Our TAF system, for that matter, too. An aerodrome is 6 statute miles, right? So they just say visibility greater than 6. Well, the visibility could be 7, but it just says greater than 6 because of the limitations of the actual ICAO definition of an aerodrome. Remember, it's a terminal aerodrome forecast. So that's why it only goes out 6 statute miles. And you just think, wow, that's an area people want to say, oh, I'll do it in 5 miles. I would prefer you didn't as a private pilot. Now, how do we adjust these? Well, let's get them set first and be cautious, be smart with them, and then you can adapt them. And here's what I do, right? I have my hard set personal minimum numbers for when I'm solo and it's just me on board. They're a little bit higher actually because it's a higher workload. As opposed if I'm flying with Matt or Ray or somebody I've flown with quite a bit, I'll lower those down a little bit because they're a very accomplished pilot and we work very well together. As opposed to I'm flying with my wife Magda and our children. I will raise those personal minimums because I want them to have a great experience in aviation. So these personal minimum numbers can adjust. They can get more stringent depending on who you're flying with or without, or a new aircraft, or a new environment. You could adjust those, raise them higher. And you can certainly lower them. You can say, when I get to 100 hours, I'm gonna lower everything by 5%, by 10%. When I get my instrument rate, I'm gonna lower everything 10%. Or 10% more margin there. Does that make sense? It's not like you set this thing and it's that way forever. You're a good pilot who's always learning. So create your hard set minimums, your median, and then show me what it would be. I'm gonna add 10% when I'm flying with my spouse and my children. I'm gonna add 10% when I'm flying a new to me airplane, right? Make those adjustments accordingly. What are your hard set personal minimum numbers? I wanna be your accountability partner. Will you let me know down in the comment box below on YouTube, on Facebook? In the meantime, thank you for those comments. Have a blessed, abundant, outstanding rest of your day. And most importantly, remember, the good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you.